Hello, I'm Bryan Chavis with the Tampa Housing Authority and the Landlord Property Management Academy. Today we'll be covering inspections. The first thing you want to do when focusing on inspections, you want to make sure that you're focusing on the exterior. This is something that is widely overmissed or overlooked by the landlord. We always want to focus on the interior of the unit, not the exterior. What will get you failed on the exterior is the lack of proper caulking around the window connection between the framework and the window. You also want to make sure that the panes are in place and weather stripping or any kind of caulking is intact.
Unsound and hazardous means the roof has serious defects such as serious buckling or sagging, indicating the potential of structural collapse, large holes or other defects that would result in significant air or water infiltration. Units built before 1978 that have chipping and peeling paint will be required to undergo paint stabilization in accordance with the requirements of 24 CFR Part 35.
You want to make sure that the front door and the weather stripping actually are meeting together without any gaps. Okay, we're inside the unit now. This particular door will need to be replaced with some weather stripping. As you can see here, we can clearly see gaps. So anytime you can see any outdoor light inside, it's an automatic fail. All right, we're at the window areas. When dealing with windows, you want to make sure that your locking mechanisms work, and you want to make sure that the window is on track and stays on track when opening and shutting the window. And you also want to make sure that your caulking is in place as well. Your inspectors are going to check all the outlets with a circuit tester. Plug in the circuit tester in the outlets to make sure the outlets are actually live.
Some electrical hazards are non-insulated, broken, or frayed wiring, improper wiring, connections, or insulation, wires lying in or located near standing water or other unsafe places.
All right, we're in the kitchen area where we're going to focus on the sink, GFIs, cabinetry, and appliances. Main focus in the sink area is water pressure. You want to make sure that there's adequate water pressure, and you want to make sure that when you run the water that there are no leaks visible. GFIs, otherwise known as ground fault interrupters. They're usually located near water, and your inspector is going to insert a tester to make sure that they're actively working. In the kitchen area, when dealing with cabinets, you want to make sure that the cabinets are butting up flush against the framework and the hinges are working properly. You want to make sure that the seals are properly in place around the refrigerator to make sure that there's no cool air escaping. You also want to make sure that the handles are properly in place on the refrigerator as well. When checking our stove, you want to make sure that the seal is in place. You'll want to turn on the stove and make sure all the burners are working properly. Then you check underneath the sink for leaks. As you can see, there are several issues underneath this sink that would result in a fail. The large hole in the back of the sink that would need to be sealed. Number 2 would be the hinge. The cabinet door is off the hinges.
Some examples of unsound or serious hazardous defects are holes in the wall that threaten the structural safety of the building, severe buckling, bulging, or leaning, damaged or loose structural members, and large holes and air infiltration.
We are now located in the hallway where the focus will be the smoke detector.
Smoke detectors must be installed in accordance with and meet the requirements of the National Fire Protection Association Standard, NFPA 74, or its successor standards. If the dwelling unit is occupied by any hearing impaired person, smoke detectors must have an alarm system designed for hearing impaired persons as specified in NFPA 74 or successor standards.
To test the smoke detector, you'll push the button and wait for the alarm. We've located the breaker box where we want to make sure that all the breakers are in place securely, and we want to make sure all the slots are covered.
Water heaters must have a temperature pressure relief valve and discharge line directed toward the floor or outside of the living area as a safeguard against buildup of steam if the water heater malfunctions. The heating and air conditioning system must be capable of delivering climate control that will assure a healthy environment.
We're in the bathroom area where we're going to cover 3 main components: Number 1, the GFIs. You want to make sure that the GFIs are properly working. Number 2, check the water pressure. Number 3, you want to make sure that the toilet is secured fastly. You want to make sure that the bolt caps are in place.
There must be a toilet within the unit that is in proper operating condition and be available for the exclusive use of the occupants of the unit. The ventilation system must include ventilation shafts, non-mechanical vents, and the vent fans must function when switch is turned on.
We want to make sure that the caulking around the tub is in place and the fixtures are working.
There must be at least one permanent bathroom light fixture, in addition to the GFI outlets located where water might splash or collect.
The inspector will want to check all interior doors to make sure that they open and shut properly. Once shut, you'll want to make sure that the door remains secure. When inspecting the closet, you want to make sure that the closet doors remain on track and open and shut with ease. All patio doors need to function properly, and all AC units need to be securely fastened to a concrete slab. I'm Bryan Chavis, and hopefully these tips will help you pass your next HQS inspection.